You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to the Living Full Out Show. My name is Nancy Solari, and today we're going to be talking about making adjustments to your dream. We all have this ideal of what we want our life to look like, but you know, life happens, right? The unexpected, the wrong turns, the mistakes, the times that we have to rally and just go a different direction. So we have to get used to not being set in our ways, but being able and willing to make adjustments. So consider what it is that you've been striving for, and maybe if it's taking longer to get there than expected, or maybe if things have come up in your life that you just didn't know were going to happen, you know, let's make adjustments. So maybe the dream won't be exactly the same, but we can find a way to create a new vision for your life of what you'd be excited and passionate about. So we're going to be taking your calls on that. Also, coming up on our next segment, we're going to be joined by Jamie Marseille. She's our inspirational guest today, and she's going to talk about how she was stuck in a blizzard for 11 days. She actually got gangrene and had to have her 2 legs amputated below the knee. But yet she went on to become a Paralympian. How did she do that? So stay with us. You want to kind of see how that story unfolds. And then most of all, we want to make sure that you are inspired beyond today's show. So if you have an Alexa in your house, or if you're on the go or at the gym, just go into the app stores and look out for Living Full Out Radio. You know, you want to make sure that every day when you're feeling that low energy or you're disappointed, that you plug into our show or something of inspiration to lift you back up, to refocus you and keep you on your path. Now, I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show. Hi, thank you for calling. Oh, looks like we'll have to get that caller back. Our producer will let us know when we have them. So again, it's really important that when you consider, you know, your dream, you know, I love the word dream, but you could also call it a goal. You could call it a mission, your legacy, whatever you want that to be. And it doesn't have to just be a career. It could be building a family. It could just be being a really good friend to people. And you want to think about, you know, whatever that looks like, that you want your life to be, what you want to become, what that dream is, what dots do we need to connect to get you there? You know, what resources do you need? Does it take money? Will it acquire a certain amount of time? And, you know, maybe what support do you need? I know for me, you know, obviously hosting this show, but I don't do it alone. I got Gio here, I got Rich, I got so many people, Ariel, who helped put the show together. So sometimes a dream needs to be supported by other people, and then it becomes a team dream. And so think about who you might need in your life to get you to where you want to go. Now, I'm hearing from our producer. We have our caller back on the line. We'll go check in with them. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi, my name is Mark Yoder.
Hi, Mark. Thank you for calling in. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I just got a question. I recently started a construction company called Moonlight Renovations, and one of the things I get caught up on is knowing what to charge people, because I can kind of tell that they think I might be charging too much, but at the same time, I know what my family needs, so I know what I have to be making. So I was kind of wondering, is there any way, like, how do you get over thinking that you charge too much, knowing what you actually need to make?
You know what? I love that you're asking this question, right? Because we can look at it 2 ways, right? If you charge a larger amount, that means you need less clients to make that certain monthly nut that you need, right? But sometimes that same monthly allotment that you need can be achieved by, you know, multiple clients paying a smaller amount. So sometimes the best way to analyze what the best price is, and we've done this, you know, at Living Full Out as well, you know, whether it's webinars or coaching or whatever, whenever you have a service or a product, it's really figuring out what are the majority of your clients, what have they been jumping to pay? Like at this higher amount, are you finding that it's harder to get people, but maybe when you charged a slightly lower amount, you were able to get more people?
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, you might want the larger amount. You want to go with the path where there's less resistance, right? Now, I realize that more people acquires more of your time. So in some ways, somebody paying a higher price acquires less of your time versus multiple people paying a lower price is a bit more of a time commitment for you. But you want to kind of go both directions. And then the other thing is positioning and attitude is so important. So when you're giving your price, if it feels to you, if they see on your face, if they see in your body language or in the tone of your voice that it's not a price that everybody is paying, like there's that confidence factor, and when you say the price, you have to be able to deliver that just as if that's the price that everybody's been paying for a long time. They kind of consider that as the as if factor, right?
Right.
So you do have a bit of a dilemma because, again, we all have the same 24 hours. So you have to analyze how many clients can I really service a month, and maybe you have a team of people that help you with that. But I personally find that if you go the lower price and if you can manage the time, you're going to get more people. More people means more referrals, more testimonials, more projects for you to really excel at. Because if you only have one client that pays a larger price, what if the experience is not so good? I'm sure it would be, but what if it's not? What if that person doesn't refer you any people, right? You're kind of putting all your eggs in that one basket. Whereas when you have multiple clients, you're giving multiple opportunities for referral business, for a client that would come back again. Do you see that?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. So, overall, I love that you're thinking about this. I think that you sound like a man who would be very fair. So if you always consider the other person, what their needs are, what they can pay, and you find that compromise between what you need for your time, then I think it'll be a win-win for both. Okay? But thank you so much for calling in.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for talking to me and giving me your answers.
Absolutely. Helpful. Thank you, Mark. Have a great day.
You too.
So I really like that he asked that question, right? Because that's a business owner right there having this dilemma, which way do I go? And again, we're talking today about making adjustments to our dreams. Well, sometimes we have to make adjustments in our careers, in our personal life, in our relationships. So that's all part of this big bag of life, right? The choices we have to make. Now, I'm getting word from a producer that we have another caller on the line. We'll say hello to them. Hi, welcome to Living Full Out Show.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for calling in. How can I help you?
I just had a question. I was wondering, how do you approach an older guy that I've been seeing for about a month now, wanting to ask what his intentions are without scaring him away?
I love that you're asking this question because it is a question that people don't ask, and then you can lose a lot of time. And, I really believe that when you're in a dating scenario, I don't know, some people say don't ask about politics, don't ask about religion, don't ask about marriage. Right. But if you don't ask, what if you're out of sync? What if you're not in alignment? Exactly. Then you attach feelings for someone, and it's actually more heartbreak later. So I would absolutely ask. Now, there are ways in which you can ask it. Again, right now you've been dating for a month, but it's not 6 months. It's not a year. And you might just say, you know what? You can only talk in the I factor. So, I one day would like to get married. Doesn't have to be tomorrow, but I see myself getting married the next 5 years. I one day would like kids. I boy, girl, who cares? I'd like to get my career going. So I. Okay, now what you want to do is as you're talking about these I statements, so you're not really even asking him, Watch his body language. Watch to see if he engages in asking you or telling you what he wants. That's going to give you a lot of cues as to where he's going. And then if you're feeling comfortable, then ask the big question. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for calling in. You got it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Love that she asked that question. Keep them coming. We'll be taking more of your calls as we go throughout the show. Also stay with us. We had Jamie Marseille coming up, our inspirational guest, amputee, but yet she went on to break records as a runner. How did she do that? So stay with us. Today it's all about making adjustments to your dream, not giving up on that dream, just making some subtle adjustments. That's how you live full out. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, professional skateboarder Tony Hawk here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have the energy to skate through anything.
Nice play on words, Doc.
That's how I roll, Bugs. So whether you like to work the half pipe,
now that's catching air,
kick the soccer ball around, or dance in your room,
just move it your way.
For an hour a day.
The way you like to move, as long as you're moving.
Carve out some time every day and get active. Because it's time to do a 180 on what you think exercise is.
Because it can be whatever you want it to be. So be a player.
Be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At www.letsmove.gov. Let's hear that one more time, Doc. That's www.letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
I'm Nancy Solari, certified life and business coach. I want to invite you to the Personal Development Boot Camp. During the boot camp, we're going to be looking at taking those insecurities that you have and getting rid of them. We're also going to look at ways in which you can thrive and live a life full of purpose. Go to livingfullout.com/bootcamp, livingfullout.com/bootcamp to sign up. I believe in you, and here's to you living your life full out.
I'm Sarah, and this is my story.
I'm Ellen, and this is my story.
One night, I was at a bar. I was having fun with my friends.
I
had one too many drinks.
I
got behind the wheel to go home.
I got a cab to go home.
All of a sudden, from out of nowhere, a squirrel ran across the road. It happened so quickly, I barely had time to react.
The cabbie barely had time to react.
I swerved.
The cab swerved.
I can't believe it. I hit a guy.
I cannot believe it. The cabbie just missed a guy.
I wish I took a cab.
Thank goodness I took a cab.
You have the choice to save a life. Don't drive buzzed. It's a decision you'll never regret. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the Department of Transportation and the Ad Council.
Hey, America, we need to have a little talk. We've got more food than we know what to do with in this country, yet 17 million kids in America are struggling with hunger. Makes no sense. Luckily, the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks has volunteers gathering excess food and getting it to hungry kids. They're kind of like food angels. Hey, become a food angel yourself by supporting Feeding America in your local food bank at feedingamerica.org. We can't do it without your help. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
If you think depression is all in a person's head, you're right. It's a brain illness. And like other illnesses, it has symptoms. Depression can make those who suffer from it feel hopeless. It can even lead to suicide. Learn how to stop depression from taking another life. Call SAVE, Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, 1-888-511-SAVE, on the web at save.org.
I'm Alec Baldwin. Like any parent, I'm concerned about children's health. Many kids don't eat as they should and are at risk for long-term health problems like diabetes and heart disease. But here's good news. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and other low-fat vegetarian foods can protect our kids and keep the rest of the family healthy too. For a free booklet, call the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine at 1-877-685-KIDS or visit www.kidsgethealthy.org.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. With Nancy's expertise, you'll learn how to embrace your potential and strive for success. If you have a question or need further support, send us an email at connect@livingfullout.com. Now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about making adjustments to your dreams. Now, our inspirational guest today, we always try to bring you guests that we feel will motivate you, empower you, and her story is one that you really want to grab hold of and listen closely. After being in a snowstorm at age 19, she actually got gangrene, had to eventually amputate both of her legs below the knee. And I mean, that just makes me gulp, because imagine all the things that you have to do, all the different adjustments, the things you have to relearn. But yet she went on to thrive in a big way. I don't want to give it away, but I mean, she is a go-getter, perfect example of what it means to live full out. So I'd very much like to welcome Jamie to the show.
Thank you, Nancy. I'm excited to be here and share my story this morning.
Happy to have you. Now, I want to take our audience back in time, because here you were, and I can picture this, right? My girlfriends and I, we used to go on many, many road trips in college, right? You guys are 18, 19, going on a ski trip, coming home, racing home so your friend can go to her waitressing job. We've all been there. But then you guys get stuck in this blizzard, really. And can you share with us, what were the dynamics of how you got stuck?
Well, to sum it up, Lisa and I, my girlfriend I was with, we were driving home from a ski trip, and we were in New Mexico driving back to Arizona, and we took a wrong turn, which happens to people all the time. But before we took that wrong turn, we stopped at a gas station to get a map. We knew we were not in the right area where we were supposed to be. They did not have a map to sell us, and they gave us a quicker way home behind the Sunrise Ski Resort. And that's what happened. We turned onto a road that they had told us to take, and we took that wrong turn. And eventually, we didn't realize this, but the car had hit a snowbank and stopped. So at that moment, Lisa and I jumped out of the car, tried to rock it back and forth, and it wasn't moving. It just was stuck where it was.
Now, what is so amazing about your story is you were actually stuck for 11 days. And psychologically, to stay empowered, how did you do that when hours became days became multiple days? How did you guys handle that?
Well, at the time, Lisa was my friend, but she was actually my boyfriend's sister. So I didn't know her as well. So we spent a lot of time talking about family and life and really getting to know each other. And she actually had a journal with her that she wrote in each day. And we both kept our faith. We both really felt deep down inside. For me, it was my Fab Four, as I like to say, my parents and my grandparents. I always felt in my heart and really deep in my soul that I would see them again. And it gave me the oomph, the will, the want, and really the perseverance to wake up each day and figure out, how are we going to get out of this car? And I think Lisa felt the same way. She felt like the strength of her family was going to pull her through. And ironically, during those 11 days, I never felt like I was going to die. I always knew deep in my heart we would be saved. I didn't know how, when, or where, but I really try to hold on to the positive feelings of life and what the future could hold when I see my family again.
Wow. And I went for asking about the emotional and the psychological part of that first, because I think that is such an important component. And I know that when you were having a bad day, she was making sure to have a better day. You guys were kind of equaling each other out. But then there's just the reality of food. Like, how did you stay alive during that time?
Yeah, as you mentioned, Lisa and I, without even talking about it, we both stayed strong for each other. It was just an innate human reaction to support the other when we were upset. And in regards to food, we had eaten breakfast that very first day on December 23rd, 1987. And then we had a cinnamon roll we were taking home. And so we nibbled on that. But, almost 32 years ago, no one had water the way we do now. We had a 6-pack of Diet Pepsi with us that froze the first night. So we were able to actually use the car keys to slice open the cans and suck on the ice. But that made us more thirsty, and we didn't understand why. And then finally, when the storm stopped on the fourth day, we decided to eat the snow. We actually tried to walk out of the car, and we did not get very far. We went back to the car. But at that point, we were able to eat the snow. And we didn't realize at the time it actually put more pressure on our body because we were introducing, in such a state of dehydration, a solid into our body. And then our body had to turn it into a liquid. But we knew by eating the snow, it made us more thirsty. So we were able to actually melt snow. It was kind of ironic being in such a high elevation in the White Mountains and in a snowstorm, but because the storm had stopped and the heat from the windshield produced enough heat to melt the snow, it created a liquid. And that's what we did for that whole second week that we were there. And that was something that sustained our life for those last 7 days.
It's amazing how, with our backs against the wall in life, we will just find a way to be resourceful. And that ice is a perfect example. Now, I imagine you guys had many conversations about, will rescue ever come? But then again, you were a woman of faith, and you had the certainty that it would happen. But one day, out of the blue, 2 men on snowmobiles did come. What was that like to know that you were finally rescued?
Oh my gosh. Sometimes I can't remember what I did yesterday or last week, but in times like this, I can close my eyes and I see this man, Mike Estes, and his son Jake, in my vision and saving my life. And I know that's something that I'll be able to hold on to forever. It was such an amazing sense of exhilaration, freedom, and realization that our thoughts, our dreams, our faith, it all came true. We were going to go back and see our families again. And and like you said, we had, that whole 11 days, we had heard noise. We had heard all kinds of different, I guess it would be reflected of noise, and we didn't see anyone. And the day that Jake and his dad showed up on the snowmobiles, we didn't even hear them come by. And that's what was so interesting, is all of a sudden they just appeared. And it was like, I like to say, those are my angels that came out of nowhere and saved my life.
I love that. And eventually you were, taken to the hospital, and you guys had a lot of frostbite. I mean, ears, nose, legs, everything. But they did give you the news that you had gangrene. Did you even know what that was with your legs?
No, I didn't. I barely even knew what frostbite was. And at that time, when we were finally taken into the hospital, we had frostbite on all our extremities. And after some treatment, everything came back but our feet. And both Lisa and myself, our feet contracted a disease called gangrene. And they explained it to me that the feet were trying to heal, but because the tissues and the nerves were so damaged, they actually were kind of eating itself and creating black, dead skin and dead muscles. And It was a really, really hard decision. But at 19 years old, I had to agree, and I was the one that signed the paperwork and decided that amputation would give me the best. Yes.
Jamie, we have to go to a commercial break, but stay with us because I know where you're going. So everybody stay with us. We'll be coming right back with Jamie Marseille telling her story. She finally got out of the snowstorm, but where does it go from there? Stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know. wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan, and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee, and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
Hi, my name is Nancy Solari, host of the Living Full Out Show. I am excited to let you know that we are now associated with Alexa. If you have Alexa in your house and you didn't know that, go ahead and find Living Full Out because you can hear us anytime you want, and we're there for you to keep you motivated. Go to your app store because we're located there as well. Just look for the Living Full Out radio show. It's important to us that we put out really inspiring programming, but we want to make sure that you have it at your fingertips when you need us most. We never know when those challenges are going to come, when we're going to feel lonely and need that motivation. So just know that when you need us, we're here for you. Check out Alexa, the app stores, or go to livingfullout.com. Here's to you living full out.
What if I could tell you that a full-blown wildfire was going to occur tomorrow right where you live? Tell you exactly which neighborhoods it would engulf and how fast it would do it. The first thing you would do is talk with your loved ones and make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a wildfire will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you make a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait, communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a life coach, Nancy can teach you how to stay strong under pressure and work through challenges you face. Being legally blind, Nancy inspires others to be resilient in overcoming obstacles and live full out. You can ask Nancy for advice in your life on relationships, finance, business, health, and more. Just call in at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. Now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we're talking about making adjustments to your dreams. And sometimes that's just a small tweak, and sometimes it's going in a complete different direction. But it's when you're able to embrace change, when you're able to accept that things are going to look a little different than we initially set out for, that's actually when you're able to kind of flow with life and live full out in the way that maybe you were meant to be. So you want to kind of let life unfold and just see what happens. Now, our inspirational guest today, being caught in a blizzard for 11 days, how would that ever transfer to her purpose, to her legacy that she was building? Well, it did. So I'd like to welcome Jamie back to the show.
Hi. Thank you,
Hi.
Nancy.
Thank you. So, Jamie, I know that when you were at the hospital and they told you you had gangrene, they told you you'd have to amputate your legs below the knee, and you signed the paperwork, it was really important to you that you were able to, get married, have kids, wear high heels. You asked every question in the book about what life with a prosthetic could be like. Now, what I think is so interesting is after you came out of that surgery, they actually had the prosthetics already attached to your leg. Now, why was that done?
Yeah, so about when I had my amputation, they did something called an immediate fit. So after the surgery, my residual limb was in a cast, and built into the bottom of that cast was a plate that could adhere screws and nails, and they were able to put a very basic pipe with a very low activity, no energy return foot. So it helped me tremendously. First and foremost, emotionally, because when I woke up, I saw feet under the covers at the end of the bed. And then we were able to push my body to use the prosthetics at an earlier rate. Sometimes when people have an amputation, they get sent home and they don't get fitted for prosthetics for 3 to 4 weeks. And your body goes through so many changes. You can atrophy muscles, you can lose weight, you can gain weight. So I feel it was such a blessing for me to have that immediate fit in the hospital, because right away, within about 48 hours of surgery, they had me up on a tilt table. So They really had me pushing my body to learn and understand how prosthetics work and to bear weight inside the socket so I can become a more efficient user of these new prosthetics.
Well, and I know that you did depend on, a wheelchair, a walker, all those different pieces of equipment initially until you were able and strong enough to walk on your own. And, what I think is so interesting about your story, today we're talking about making adjustments to your dreams, right? And, your dream was, going to school, getting your communications degree, right? But if we fast forward just a bit in your story, after you graduated, they told you to keep up working out, to stay strong and be able to do all the things that you need to do with your prosthetics. But who introduced you to what was possible with your prosthetics? Not just walking, we're talking about, more higher athletics. Who showed you that route?
Yeah, so right away, like you said, I was introduced to the world of athleticism by going to the gym and, walking on the treadmill and really being able to increase the quality of my life through exercise. But I never thought about running. And when I moved to California in 1993, my first prosthetist, Carlos Zambrano, he showed me video of the Paralympics. And it was amazing to watch these athletes running on these prosthetic devices that were, straight out of space-age technology. How were they able to balance? How did they not fall down? And I thought it was just a beautiful opportunity to push my body to something I never thought was possible. Here I had no feet and I'm going to learn to run. It's definitely a different path. And so with his support and the support of my grandma and the support of the Challenge Athletes Foundation, I learned to run. And I've never looked back. It's given me such a sense of freedom, a positive self-esteem, and it's given me a sense of strength and resiliency that if I can run, I can accomplish anything.
Well, you are my hero because I'm such a wimp. I hate running. I just, oh no, wasn't built to do it.
It's a love-hate thing for a lot of people, yeah.
Yeah, but I, like I said, I admire that about you. And what I think is so interesting is, and I want you to kind of tell us when you're running in a marathon, and we'll get to, what you're most proud of in a second, but when you're running in a race, you're able to stop and take your prosthetics off. You're able to kind of, allow yourself some breathing room. Can you share with us what that's like?
Yeah, so as an amputee runner, I wear a silicone liner against my skin, and that produces quite a bit of sweat. And what I've learned that works best for me is I call it my do-rag. I kind of laugh about it. But when I go on my long runs, even for training, I always have some kind of waist belt on, and I'll have a towel with me. And so when the sweat accumulates or it's too much, I'll just stop wherever I need to stop and dry my legs. And that's what I did when I ran both my marathons. I mean, the city of Chicago was wonderful. I stopped next to policemen on the ground. I stopped on a curb. But for me, it's more about I need to be ahead of the game and avoid that blister or that skin irritation or that rash that might come from the sweat. And that's what I've learned, a lot of trial and error. And I do. Whenever my legs bother me on a run, I'll just stop and adjust because I know in the long run it's going to help me and keep me able to go to work and able to take care of my family and just keep me up and about instead of, not listening to my body, letting a rash or an irritation occur. That's going to set me back a lot longer than taking that 1 to 2 minutes to stop and adjust my prosthetics.
But I love that. I think that's a moral of the story for today. We can just stop and adjust in life, right? And literally you stop, take off your prosthetic, make adjustments. I mean, I love that. I can visualize that. And, you've done a lot of different races. You've had a lot of accomplishments. But what is the biggest accomplishment that you've had so far? Knowing that you have this disability, but yet you've learned how to make adjustments. You've really kind of made yourself feel whole.
Yeah, I think for me the biggest accomplishment is still being in love with my soulmate, my husband, and raising 2 children. Because, people every day have different physical disabilities and they live their life in fear, afraid of trying what might or might not work. And, we both jumped into this marriage, both feet forward 18 years ago. And after being together for 22, we're both so proud of the children we're raising, introducing them to compassion and empathy and really a love for the community and the will to make a difference for so many others. That's my most proud action that I've ever had. And then I think when it comes to athleticism, the biggest event for me would be accomplishing and finishing the Boston Marathon. I was the first woman of my disability class to ever run that marathon, and I'm excited for other women like me, different disabilities, to go and run Boston. And I really did it to honor the survivors of the bombing from the Boston Marathon in 2013.
I love that. And, we're talking today about making adjustments to your dream. And way back when you were sitting in that car for 11 days, watching this blizzard surrounding you, not knowing if rescue would ever come, could you even envision being this runner that you are today? Because I know you weren't the biggest fan of working out back in the day.
I was not a fan at all, and I avoided it at every cost. So, it's definitely an ironic twist of fate as I sit here giggling because I couldn't have imagined 32 years ago living in that car, being trapped in that car for 11 days, what my life would amount to. But I'm grateful for each and every day that I get to wake up and I get to put my prosthetics on and hug my husband and go to work and go to the gym and walk with my dogs and play with my kids. I mean, those are so many blessings wrapped up into my life, and that's what I try to use to help me when I'm going through some tough times or some challenging days.
Well, and I think it's important to be ready for whatever may come our way. I mean, you and I live in earthquake country here in California, right? Other people live in tornado land or hurricane land, or you just never know when something's going to happen. So, for our audience listening today, I mean, what should we know about how you've made adjustments? What is that secret sauce?
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, earthquake country. When I go to bed at night, I strategically leave my prosthetics in a perfect location if I got to jump out of bed quick, because it's going to take me a few more moments to get them on than the person who's just going to jump out of bed and grab their shoes in an earthquake. And, we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. And, in regards to prioritizing your health, that's something that I've learned to make a big point in my life, eating healthy, exercising, and really working on your emotional state. And for me, the last few years have been very challenging because I've had a cancer diagnosis that's taken different turns along this path. But I have a new doctor, and I'm seeing him, and I love what he told me the other day. He said, "You're the healthiest cancer patient I've seen in over 20 years.
Wow.
And, even though I'm technically diagnosed stage 4, that's just a number. It's like my age. I'm a 50-year-old woman, but again, that's just a number. It's what you do with your life and the time that you're here that makes the difference for everyone, and most importantly, yourself. And so, just staying positive and always counting your blessings. And it's okay to have those bad days. It's okay to get down on yourself. But it's important that you get back up and you give the world your best.
You know what? I love that. And as I said early on the show, you're a perfect example of what it means to live full out. So thank you so much, Jamie, for being on the show today. And everybody, you can check out Jamie Marseille online everywhere. She's out there. But thank you so much for being on the show. And we'll send positive wishes your way with your cancer diagnosis. I know that you'll give it all you got. But thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks, Nancy. Have a great weekend. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye. And, you know, everybody, I really want you to soak up that interview because I'm telling you, I may not run a marathon tomorrow, but she just makes me want to get out there and do more and just be grateful for what we have. You know, I don't have great eyes, right? I'm legally blind, but I got legs. She's got eyes, but she's got prosthetic legs. It's all going to be a mix mash of whatever we're going to get in life, but just make the most of it. Every day, every minute counts. Stay with us. We're coming back, taking more of your calls. This is the Living Full Out Show. I'm Nancy Solari. Today we're talking about making adjustments to your dream. Not giving up on that dream, but just making little small adjustments so that you can live a life of purpose and feel like you're making great strides. We'll be right back after this break. Stay with us.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human. And she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment. Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Mom, what? Huh? Pew, pew. What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my dog a bath. You can have pictures of that. Pressure gives me hives. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. Hold on, let me ask my mom. Sorry, my webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. Unfortunately, I just had my clothes surgically attached to my body. If they got out, I might never be president. I'm already naked, under my clothes. Not even if you were all three Jonas Brothers. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. The more you ask, the less I want to. You're not the boss of me. Nudity makes me vomit. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearms storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day. Football I want to be a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Well, I finally did it. My student loan is totally paid off.
What?
What about our plan to win the lottery and start living? You know, travel the world on matching yachts, wear enough jewelry to require a bodyguard, vacation on the French Riviera, and then buy it.
You know we're never going to win the lottery, right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind. Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When it comes to making adjustments to your dreams, consider the fact that it's actually more freeing to know that you can let go of your initial ideal, that you have the ability to make adjustments, to get creative, to reinvent yourself. That's what it means to live full out. So go ahead, don't be afraid, make those adjustments and thrive in life.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. Nancy is here as a guide to show you how to rise above obstacles and savor each moment. If you have a question, call in live at 800-333-0001. That's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we've been talking about making adjustments in life. And I know that can seem sometimes discouraging, right? Like, can't it just work out? But the thing is, life is kind of funny. Even in the studio today, we were having some technical challenges, so just don't get comfortable, because the minute you do, life is going to poke you in the belly and keep you on your toes. So be open to making adjustments, be able to envision not just recreating your life, but sometimes reinventing and starting over and just, letting life be full of zest, full of color, full of opportunity, not being just stuck in one lane where you feel restricted, limited, or, stuck. So I'm getting word from our producer that we do have a caller on the line. We're going to go say hello to them. Hi, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, this is Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly. How can we help you today?
I just have a quick question. My question for you is how to move on from a difficult relationship where this person didn't treat you so well and you hold a lot of anger towards this person for wasting so much of your time.
Amen, sister. There's a lot of people. Okay, there's a lot of people right now that are nodding their head, raising their hands, doing like turns and twists in their chair, because the thing is whether it's a love life, whether it's a business partner, sometimes people are selfish with other people's time. Yes. So we're going to call that out right now, that some people are selfish, okay? But some people are not. Okay, some people are not. So don't lose faith, okay? There are really good people out there. Now, what is the one thing that just irritates you that you can't let go of? I mean, there might be a whole list of 20 things, but just give me the one, the biggest one.
I can't let go of the fact that he's going to be with other people, I guess. And, I was there for such a long time that I thought that we were going to be together forever. And just the thought of him being with other people kind of just makes me so mad for some reason.
Okay. And I'm really grateful that you said that. So here's the thing. What age are you right now in life?
I just turned 24.
Woohoo! Let's hear for 24. Who doesn't want to be 24 again? I love the 24s. Okay, so here's the thing. The reality is you may or may not meet the love of your life by 24, right? And what you want to do so that you can pull back from being so irritated, because when you are angry and frustrated and you're feeling a little jealous or a little of that angst towards the fact that he wants to date other people, what you're actually doing is you're giving your power away, okay? What you want to say instead is, thank you so much for showing your true colors. Thank you for showing me that you're not my life partner, because my life partner would not want to date other people. They would only want me. And so first of all, woohoo, good that he showed you that at 24 and not 44, right? Because if he didn't show you those colors, then he would have wooed you away. You guys would have got married, and then he would have dated other people while you were married, right? So good that that came out now. But the other thing is you want to look at this relationship and say, okay, how did I grow? You know, there were times in my life when I remember dating this guy one time and he had an affair on me, but he had an affair on everybody, as it ever turned out. But when I was with him, I was going through a financial hard time and he was there for me. I'd actually had other guys in my life that were there for me in business, but the relationship didn't work out, or they were there for me in other ways. So when you have a relationship that does have a start and does have an end, consider them like bookends, right? Like you have books in the middle. So it's really, what did you learn during that time with that person? Let that be your takeaway. Let that be your gift. And when you look at it like a gift, now you're taking your power back. Set him free, toss him back in the pond, find the guy that really is going to run with you. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in. I hope that that was helpful. And for everybody listening today, it is about making those life adjustments. And we can do that. We really can. We just have to be willing and able to make a change, to consider other opportunities. And you know what? While it may seem uncomfortable, what we don't know may be better for us because we just don't know about it. So be curious in life. Go after it with all your vigor and hunger. Now, our entire Living Full Out family wants to thank you for listening. We have Rich and Gio and Riley and Ariel and so many people that just want to make sure that you leave today motivated, ready to go out there and make adjustments in life, not with fear, but with excitement. Like, what if it's better than it is now? Remember to go to livingfullout.com or check us out on Alexa or the app stores and just search for Living Full Out Radio and you can take us on the go. And we want to make sure that you reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com if you need resources on today's topic. Or if you have an inspirational story, we'd love to hear from you. Perhaps we'll have you on the show as an inspirational guest. But until next time, here's to you living full out. I believe in you. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Living Full Out Show with Nancy Solari. To learn more about this program, visit livingfullout.com for the latest episodes. Connect with the Living Full Out community by following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribing to our YouTube channel. If you have an inspirational story you want to share, email us at connect@livingfullout.com. Here's to you, living full out.